This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, September the 20th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. There's a look at our surface map, and we have a large high-pressure system basically over southern Lake Michigan, and that has allowed a cold front to actually move down into the area. Boy, we're using that term cold front pretty loose, though. There's very little contrast across the front, and last night or yesterday evening, we actually only saw just 2 or 3 small, very small showers that formed along the front. So I don't think we're going to see much today, but we have to put in a very small mention of it. In the upper atmosphere, the trough off to the northwest is going to be moving by today and tomorrow, and that will just keep that small chance of showers in our forecast. But due to the fact that the front is nearly parallel to the flow aloft, we don't expect the front to move very far and become stalled primarily over South Alabama. Temperatures this morning are a bit warmer. Had a cold front move through and temperatures warmed up. The truth is that yesterday we saw readings in the 50s across the Tennessee River Valley, and this morning those readings are in the 60s. And across central Alabama, we're generally in the lower, mid, and upper 60s, so we got a good range across the state and the central Alabama area. Looking at the watch warning map across the U.S., and there's very little to talk about. The orangish areas on the west coast are heat advisories. The pinkish areas there in the north central U.S., those are fire danger watches. And then the blue up in northern New York is actually a frost advisory. The quantitative precipitation forecast, or QPF, doesn't show much for us for the next 5 days, and I think that's pretty much on track with the front. What little will be left of the frontal boundary across the south, that's where the showers are likely to be. And the Storm Prediction Center is only outlooking a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms across parts of Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle for day 1. That's today. For Monday, they drop back to just general thunderstorms and general thunderstorms for day 3. And in the tropics, they've become a little less noisy. We have the area that is about 300 miles to the east of Jacksonville, Florida, and that area is just not showing any signs of developing at all. And then out in the middle of the Atlantic, we have Ida, Tropical Storm Ida. Ida is expected to remain a tropical storm as it moves slowly across the central South Atlantic area. So we're going to be dealing with her for a little while. All right, let's take a look at some modeling. There's the GFS model run for this afternoon at the 06C time, and it's for this afternoon around 1 o'clock. And definitely no real signs of the front. On Monday, we're seeing it pretty much dry. If you want to say some of those little rain areas are along the front, that's fine. The trough comes by on Monday and definitely gets by us, but as it does, some complicated movement is going to be going into effect here, and that is on Tuesday, we noticed that the trough is over basically the mid-Atlantic states, but it is becoming detached from the main trough that's well up into Canada. And so the bottom line is it's going to just get lost. We see that there's no rain forecast for us on Tuesday as we stay primarily dry. And for the 36-hour forecast, there's a look at the precipitable water, and definitely dry. And also at 60 hours, there's the precipitable water and definitely dry. When we get out to Wednesday, 18Z on Wednesday, we can see that the little open trough has become a closed low over the South Carolina coastal area, and we're primarily under a ridge with generally northwesterly flow, and that then takes us to just no rain across the southeastern U.S. at all. Thursday, we see that closed low is still there over the South Carolina, maybe into Georgia coastline area, and that meanders a little bit further to the west on Friday. But the bottom line is, especially when we look at precipitable water, is that we stay dry, and so we're not expecting any precipitation, any showers to be in our area on Friday. As we get into the weekend, that closed low begins to move a little further to the north. So a little to the northeast, and then by Sunday, a week from today, it's over the mid-Atlantic states, and we're still basically dry. Perhaps moisture may be returning enough to introduce a small chance for showers, but at this point, looks dry. And looking out into voodoo country, the GFS has taken a flip or a flop, whichever you want to call it. We still see ridge primarily around the 1st, but remember yesterday we had this open or closed low, a rather broad closed low over Florida. It's gone completely, and out at 372 hours, the GFS is suggesting, and this is the 5th of October, the GFS is suggesting a ridge. So that closed low is completely fizzled, at least in the forecast. Maybe it'll be back tomorrow. That'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for this Sunday. James Spann should be back with the next edition first thing on Monday morning. In the meantime, you can check back on the blog for updates on Alabama's weather. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great Sunday and Godspeed.